So here we're gonna have some fun with type. First we have the word cucchiaio. Cucchiaio is Italian for spoon. So I'm looking at this word, how can I make it look like a spoon? So it was suggested to do maybe shape it like a spoon. That would be a way to do it. If I was gonna do that, there's something called envelope distort in Illustrator. So one thing I can do is try to draw a spoon. I just want the outline right now, so I don't have any fill here. And I like to use the pen tool. If you click and drag, you can make a really cool shapes. And I'm doing this very quickly because I don't want this video to be long. And then I could do this, draw my spoon, and that little circle by the pen means that I'm closing the path. You want to do that. So now I can flip it. I can also, with the white arrow, select a particular point and draw my spoon a little better. Okay, like I said, I'm not gonna worry too much about this. So I'm gonna make the word cucchiaio. Cucchiaio is actually below the spoon. I'm gonna change the color of the spoon so my point is clear. So as you can see, the shape is on top, okay? So I'm gonna make the word itself the size of the spoon, more or less. So I press Shift and I enlarge my type that way. That way I don't distort it. So this is about right, maybe a little larger. Okay. Now, another thing that I wanna do is I wanna use a typeface. Let me go up so I can see it. That kind of looks a little more like round. So I got a bunch of typefaces on my computer, and there's one option in Illustrator that said more from Adobe Fonts, so you can actually get more. And then I'm gonna look for something round that looks spoony to me. This Arial black is looking pretty sweet. And this blackboard, let me try this one just for fun. You can always change them. Oh my God, now it got really big, as you can tell. So I'm gonna make this a lot smaller. I press Shift. And I go, okay, so that's all right. So what I do now, I'm gonna create an envelope. In other words, I'm gonna have the top shape dictate the shape of what's below it. To do that, I select both. So with the black arrow or the selection tool, I can select it. Or I can click one, press Shift, and select the next one. Then I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm clicking Object in the menus. So I go Object, Envelope Distort, and I'm gonna use the top object to make the shape of the bottom object. And that's an easy way to make cucchiaio. And it's kind of funky. You can always play with it. Maybe I need to change the typeface for something a little cooler or not so overpowering. So these are things that you can do. You can always break this connection. If I go Object, Envelope Distort, Release. Maybe I need to change a typeface for something a little more simple. Let me try Baskerville. And I'm gonna make cucchiaio a little larger. And okay. I can also change the space between the letters. That's called the tracking. And if I go to my character menu, let me see if I can drag it here. This space, okay? I can change it and I can make it larger. You can also highlight it and then you can press Option or Alt in a PC and use the right arrow to change the spacing. Let me do it here. So if I highlight, I'm pressing Alt or Option in the Mac. So that way I have letters who are a little more comfortable. Okay, you can't go too far because then it doesn't look like a word anymore. So I select both and I create that envelope again. Envelope Distort, look at all these options and learn about it. They're kind of neat. You can also Google it and learn a little bit, do a couple tutorials. And it's a little more elegant. It's still kind of hard to read. So that's one option to do this. Another way for me to get a spoon will be when I take the C and I rotate it so it looks like a spoon. So I'm just gonna cut it, Command X in the Mac, I let go, I click paste or Command V, I press Shift, so I don't distort the letters, and when I'm rotating, I'm pressing Shift. So the computer moves at 45-degree angles, and it moves it faster. So I'm trying to make a spoon this way. Again, if I had the right typeface, this might work really, really cool. Let's see what happened with Hobo here. That's kind of neat. So this would be a way to do this. I can always make this a lot smaller. And I have a spoon here. The last one will be where I make the O really big and keep the rest the same. Now, let me delete this and let's go to the next word, which is boomerang. As you can tell, I'm going to do the same trick. So let me start with drawing a boomerang. So I go, okay, and notice that I'm using the pen tool. Let me switch this so it's on the just making a line. The boomerang goes like this. I click and don't let go of the mouse. And I'm moving this line horizontally. That little line with the dot does not draw. That's just a handlebar. And then I'm going to put the other one here. And I don't like the thing hanging. So if you press the escape key, it releases the tool. So now, because I drew using one of the drawing tools and not the pencil, it allows me to use this really cool tool called the width tool. And the width tool lets me do this. And this is as cool as it gets. See, now I have a boomerang. I'm just going to change the color just for our example. It doesn't really matter. I also want to use a typeface that is looks like a boomerang. The Hobo was kind of really neat for this. So I'm going to go back to the Hobo. Okay. And I'm going to make the word large so it fits here. Remember, the shape, the envelope was going to distort what's below it, always in that order. If I put the letters on top, it's not going to work. So go Object, Envelope Distort, make with Top Object. And I'm looking at it. I'm not totally happy with it because it looks more like an arch. That wasn't really what I was going after. So I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I can do. Can I create another anchor point here on this line?